right, in other news, now the Western Cape has a backlog of more than 500,000 people waiting for houses. Yesterday, politicians spoke about their grand plans to address the housing crisis in the province. 70 million rands has been injected to help the city of Cape Town. And eNCA reporter Monique Mortlock is tracking the story for us, and she joins us now from Cape Town to give us the very latest. Monique, good afternoon to you. I mean, you were at the Cape Town International Convention Centre just yesterday. What were the key points then that came out of the affordable housing indaba?
Really, it was a chance for the city of Cape Town as well as provincial government to put forward its plans to private investors and developers who were there at the indaba to show them what the city is possible, or what is possible in the city in the housing space. It was the first affordable housing indaba that the city has hosted, and they said that it won't be the last of these type of engagements, because what government is trying to do is to increase that private partnerships and to enable it to bolster its resources, because as National Human Settlements Minister Mameloko Kubai told me yesterday, government has failed in reaching its affordable housing targets, and it's for this reason that it realizes it can't do it alone. It's a rhetoric that we have heard from other ministers as well. We've heard it from the president speaking about the need for the private sector to also get involved in helping government to open up employment opportunities, and in this case housing opportunities. And the 17 million rand that the city of Cape Town has now allocated for its land release priority program will enable it to cut the red tape when it comes to development applications. So that's another way it's trying to entice private the private sector and help it to fast track the release of state-owned land and land that can be used not only for apartment complexes, luxury apartments, but mainly for affordable housing. So those were just some of the key points that came out during yesterday's indaba.
And with that being said, Monique, I mean, how do housing beneficiaries as well as land occupants then you've spoken to feel about this conference?
Now, yesterday at the indaba, just outside of the CTICC, there were a group of land occupants protesting because they feel that they've been excluded from these discussions. Some of the protesters who were there, not only land occupants, but also housing beneficiaries who have been on the city's, not only the city, but the Western Cape's housing waiting list for more than a decade in some cases. And they, yesterday, were telling me that they want to be part of any discussions when it comes to affordable housing, because they are the ones that are being directly affected. And today I took the opportunity just to speak to some people who have been on those housing waiting lists, and also some people who have simply given up waiting and have decided to occupy land illegally because they feel it's much better than waiting around, living in someone's backyard, or simply living on the streets. Let's just take a listen to one of these residents who I spoke to today in Kailicha.
The voice of a poor doesn't go far. So the problem is that we don't have money, we don't get the jobs, nothing. They only know us, they need us when they need it, us to vote for them. Even if you look at South Africa, you go to the zoo, they love the animals more than the black people. The animals, the place where they put the animals as a zoo is surrounded by a fence. But look at the place where we're staying. They doesn't care about us. My house caught fire. Look at that, the zinc I put it there. They came, they took everything, they took my details. They promised to come. It was 13th of March last year. From that time till today, look the way we are living. Even they can't, even the dogs, they can't sleep. Look at my place. Look at how I vote each and every year. But look where I'm staying. It is painful, because even these toilets we are using, this toilet we were using it in 90s, back to 90s or back to 60s. These toilets, they took the toilet, they put it in the road. Our children are playing around the place, but we are talking about coronavirus. We have to wash our hands. Where are we gonna get the water to wash our hands?
Well, of course, you can hear dissatisfaction there, Monique, of course, with this housing backlog, but we leave it there, colleague. Thank you for this update.